Chicago as Caleb Williams and the Bears come back and beat the New York Giants yesterday. Bears are now 6-3. They've won 6 of 7. I didn't do anything more than that. I was tempted.
Sure.
I didn't.
Come on,
no,
just get it out of your system.
I didn't do it.
Get it out of your system.
Everyone's doing it, including Chris Canty on First Take. Let's be honest.
He did it one time.
I did it one time. One time, Evan Cohen. One time.
That's a pretty big spot to do it in. You did the 6-7 on First Take.
I was in the background. Nobody was paying attention.
The cameras are always
I just
on
slipped
you.
it in there.
My girlfriends were in town this weekend, and somebody said 6-7, and they were like, "What song is that from? Like, why is that popular?" I go, "I don't even think it's from a song. I think it's just made up."
No, it is. It is from a song.
What is it? Tell me. Because I didn't have an answer.
That part I can't, but it's some song. Then somebody took a clip, I think, and made it about LaMelo Ball. No joke.
Oh.
Somehow
they were looking to me for answers. I was like, I don't know where this started.
Yeah. Well, anyway, the Bears have won 6 of 7. They beat the Giants 24-20 yesterday. Caleb Williams, 20 of 36. Had a touchdown passing, a touchdown running. Roma Dunze got a touchdown as he credited his dad for complaining about the offense, for getting him involved early. But are we buying the Bears a playoff contender now?
Yeah, I'll entertain the Bears getting involved with the division mix. I mean, you don't know what version of the Green Bay Packers you're going to get from game to game. The Detroit Lions feel like they're the class of the NFC North, but they've had some things that haven't quite seemed right. Of course, with Dan Campbell taking over play calling responsibilities from OC Johnny Morton, and players not necessarily loving Morton's sequencing and how he does things. So, yeah, I mean, the Chicago Bears are right there in the mix, and I can't believe I'm saying this at the halfway point of the season, but Caleb Williams should be in the conversation for best quarterback in that division. He's that good. And what we've seen from him being able to overcome that double-digit deficit in the fourth quarter, that's big time, man. The playmaking that we've seen from Caleb Williams, some of the throws that he was making in that game, and then, of course, his ability to be able to use his legs as a weapon. He is one of the most dynamic young quarterbacks in the NFL. And it feels like he and Ben Johnson are starting to get on the same page in terms of making sure that they hit all of the layups. There weren't a whole lot of misses when it comes to easy completions for Caleb Williams in yesterday's game, and that's the one thing that we love to see. We know what the ceiling is for Caleb, but last year the floor was so low that it became insurmountable for the team. This year, the floor for Caleb Williams has been elevated, and that's why we're seeing the results from the Chicago Bears look dramatically different.
I got to go back to something you just said.
I
Make
knew
sure
you
I'm clear
would.
on this. You're saying that Caleb Williams is in the mix for the best quarterback in the NFC North, a division that includes Jared Goff, 20 touchdowns, 3 interceptions, and a division that includes Jordan Love, who played tonight on ESPN against Jalen Hurts and company and the champs in the Eagles on Monday Night Football. Caleb's in that conversation for you right now.
That is correct.
Wow.
Could he?
Is it that crazy to say that though? I'm just. Is it that crazy?
I mean, it was his 4th game-winning drive. Come from behind win. They, I believe, are 4-1 in one-score games this season. 6-3. He's playing really well.
I think the content of what you said is not that crazy. The context of who is saying it makes it startling, because you were holding I'm going to be fair on this. You were holding Caleb to a standard of you're drafted number 1 overall. They drafted you, in essence, if you do the math, instead of C.J. Stroud, Jaden Daniels, and Drake May, right, over the course of multiple drafts. And they believed in you to fix a franchise that seemingly never has a quarterback. And you were critical of his performance a year ago. And now, the same person, Chris Canty, is saying, I'll put him with Goff and Love. So, yes, that is surprising for me, hearing you say that.
Okay.
You don't think it could come off that way?
I thought that I have been very complimentary of Caleb Williams and the job that he's done this year. He's accepted tough coaching from Ben Johnson, and the results have proved themselves out over on the field. I mean, when you're looking at this team, they started out with the same exact record through the first 6 games that they did last year. But what I've seen in the last 2 weeks, him being able to go into Cincinnati and have that duel with Joe Flacco and have his team on the winning side of it, touchdown throw to Colston Loveland. This week ends up being a touchdown run for the go-ahead points. his ability to be able to steer this team on those game-winning drives, to be able to come through in the fourth quarter in the clutch, to me, that's impressive. Caleb Williams leads the league in fourth quarter comebacks and game-winning drives. There's something to be said for that, man. Being at your best when your best is required matters to me. And Caleb Williams, the talent and the production are finally starting to match.
And you know what else is matching? As you brought up, his chemistry with Ben Johnson. And I said this when the hire was made, that this had the chance to be the most consequential hire in Bears history. Because if you get Caleb Williams right, and he becomes the guy that Bears fans and this organization has been desert thirsty for decades, then he's worth every single penny. And kudos to Caleb for not only advocating for the guy that he wants, but for being open to being coached hard, for being open to changing his approach to things, because even though he had success at the collegiate level, obviously getting to the NFL was a completely different set of circumstances for him. And they are finding that rhythm, and you're seeing it bear out in the results. And you talked about the fourth quarter comebacks and how they're trusting each other in a different way. I also love how he's using his legs more in the fourth quarter. He has 92 yards on the ground in the fourth quarter. DJ Moore was talking about it after the game, that now the coaching staff has given him the green light to go ahead and utilize himself in that way in those consequential spots. So the fact that Caleb Williams, slowly but surely this season, is showing incremental success has to be so thrilling for Chicago Bears fans.
Cece, do you believe the Bears have graduated out of searching for a franchise quarterback?
Yes. Yes.
They have found that they're no longer in the Jets and the Browns conversation of seemingly for decades on end searching for a franchise quarterback.
Yes.
Wow.
Caleb Williams is on pace for the first 4,000-yard passing season in Chicago Bears history.
And that was a goal.
Yeah. I think the Bears have found their guy for the next decade plus. And when you figure that out, that's a big piece of the puzzle. You got your coach, you got your quarterback. It feels like it's only up from here for the Chicago Bears. The thing that we didn't anticipate, or the thing that we didn't factor in, is that they could be ahead of schedule when it comes to competing for the division. I think that's entirely on the table.
This year?
This year.
Well, the Packers got to get it together.
So Bears could win the NFC North this year?
Yeah. I'm willing to entertain that conversation.
Well, take that, ESPN 1000 in Chicago, for all the hating that comes our way.
Yeah, clip that off.
Now, guess what? This is called, it's his birthday, so we gotta hype him up on this. This is called a Canty can't lose. Because if they don't win the division, he can hold it against you. Because he said, hey, you got a shot to win the division, and next game up, you've got the Vikings on the road. That should be a winnable game for the Chicago Bears. You know what also was very smart by one CC here, Smalls?
What?
You know what he just did? He gave us so many interesting takes on the Bears that it took us so long that he somehow avoided how much of a disaster his ex-team, the Giants, have become.
Well, they are dealing with some pretty consequential injuries, Evan.
Yes, but if we're all going to sit here and say the Commanders have to do a better job of protecting Jaden Daniels, do the Giants not have to do a better job of protecting Jackson Dart?
Oh, of course they do. But, Ev, here's the thing. I've already resigned myself to the fact that they're going to fire Brian Daboll and Joe Schoen after the season.
I think you're right about that.
That's done.
Yeah.
There's nothing that those guys are going to be able to do to save their jobs.
There was a window there for them. The Giants were winning games. They looked electric with Jackson Dart and Cam Scattergood.
The window might have been the first half in Soldier Field yesterday, because Jackson Dart looked awesome.
Yeah.
Like, he looked phenomenal. And it felt like they were going to be able to hang on to it. And then Dart gets knocked out. And, of course, Russell Wilson, as washed up as he is, comes into the game. And you knew we had no shot when Caleb Williams and the Bears decided to mount their comeback. So, yeah, I think it's done. Joe Schoen and Brian Daboll are up out of here. And now, we're as the New York Giants, they're going to have one of the most attractive coaching vacancies, attractive general manager vacancies in the entire NFL.
Oh, man.
Because you're sold they have their quarterback.
Oh, no question.
And a lot of young talent when they get
Jackson
healthy.
Dart is the guy. Every time he scores a touchdown, when he hits the celly, you already know he's the guy. You just have to look at how everybody around him celebrates. He's the guy. They just got to make sure that they get the right head coach and the right general manager.